Okay, let's talk about something we've all felt, that fear that you're going to run out of things to say. We're going to tackle how you can walk into any conversation with confidence and just never hit that awkward, silent wall again. I mean, you know that feeling, right? You're talking with someone, could be someone new, could be someone you kind of know, and you can just feel it. The conversation is just grinding to a halt. It's such a common anxiety, it's wild. Yeah, you've gone through the basics, the how are you, the what do you do, and then bam, nothing. Just that super loud silence where both of you are kind of looking for the emergency exit. And let's be honest, that exit is almost always your phone, right? But here's the thing. What if this has nothing to do with you being bad at talking? What if it's not some deep personality flaw? The very first step, and honestly, the most important one, is to completely change how you even think about conversation in the first place. And look, this is a huge mental shift. So many of us take this stuff personally. We think, oh, I'm just awkward or I'm broken. But the truth, it's way more empowering than that. It is not a personality flaw. It's a skill gap. You're not broken. You're just untrained. I mean, think about it like this. Would you ever pick up a guitar for the first time and expect to shred a solo? No way. You'd know you need to practice. Well, guess what? Conversation is the exact same thing. It's a skill, a craft that you can totally get better at. Okay, so if it's a skill, how do we learn it? Well, it pretty much boils down to a simple 3-part toolkit. And the best part is you can start using this stuff like today. All right, here are your 3 pillars. Number 1, ask intentional questions. Number 2, listen more than you speak. And number 3, find common ground. Simple, right? Let's dive into each one. All right, first up, asking intentional questions. Now, this isn't about, interrogating someone. It's about gently guiding the conversation, keeping it moving, keeping it alive, and actually engaging. We are all guilty of this. Someone tells you, I went golfing over the weekend, and what do we say? Oh, that's cool. Boom, conversation over. It's a total dead end. You've basically just thrown up a conversational brick wall. But what if, instead of that, you just asked a simple follow-up? Like, oh, cool, where do you usually play? Or, how long have you been into that? See? Questions starting with how or what. Those are your best friends. Suddenly, you've knocked a hole in that brick wall, and you got all these new paths to explore. The key takeaway here is to see their statements as an invitation, an opportunity for your next question. Okay, on to tool number 2, and honestly, this one might just be the most important piece of the entire puzzle. Listening more than you speak. And I don't just mean staying quiet while you wait for your turn to talk. That's not listening. Active listening is when you're genuinely trying to understand what they're saying. You're not just in your head reloading your next witty comment. You're actually absorbing their words, their tone, all the little details. There's this quote that just hits the nail on the head. Most people don't listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. And when you're just waiting to reply, you miss everything. You miss the little hints, the emotional cues. You miss all the raw material for your next great question. Real listening, that's the fuel for a good conversation, period. And that leads us perfectly into the third and final piece of our toolkit, finding common ground. This is where the magic happens, people. This is where real connection is built. As you're doing the first 2 things, asking good questions and really listening, you're basically on a treasure hunt. You're looking for that little sliver of overlap. A sport you both follow, a show you both binge watched, anything. Once you hit that, the conversation just takes off. It stops feeling like an interview and starts feeling like you're just hanging out. Okay, so we've got the toolkit. But let's have a quick reality check here. Even with all these tools, not every single conversation is going to be amazing. And you know what? That is 100% okay. You've got to get comfortable with this. An awkward pause will still happen sometimes. But that moment of silence, it doesn't mean you failed. It's not a failure. It's just space, a breath. And the second you get comfortable sitting in that space, it loses all of its awkward power over you. The pressure just evaporates. So we have the mindset shift, we have the 3-part toolkit, but what's the real goal here? What's the whole point of all this? Let's talk about the final, most important insight. So what is the ultimate secret to being a great conversationalist? Is it about being super charming, super witty, having the craziest stories to tell? Nope. The real answer is so much simpler, and honestly, it changes the entire game. And here it is. This is the golden rule. Forget about being interesting. Focus on being interested. All that pressure we feel, it comes from trying to perform, trying to prove how cool or funny or smart we are. But the moment you flip that switch and focus on being genuinely interested in the person in front of you, poof, the pressure is gone. Because it's not about you anymore. It's about them. And that's really the whole thing right there. The goal isn't performance, it's presence. Stop trying to put on a show. Just show up. Be present with the person in front of you. Be curious about them. Because when you do that, you'll realize you can't run out of things to say. Why? Because you're tapping into the entire, endless, fascinating world of another person.